Assalamualaikum and hi. So now we are going to look at example 2 from chapter 1. So what we have here in this question is 3-point charges lie along the x-axis as shown in figure 2. So what we have here is charge Q1 positive 2 coulomb, charge Q2 positive 4 coulomb, and also charge Q3 negative 6 coulomb. So we have all these three charges lying along x-axis. The question asks to calculate the magnitude and direction of total electric force exerted on Q2. So we have three charges here and our subject here is Q2. So we want to find the total forces acting on the Q2 only. So before we start, we are going to recall back what are we supposed to do in order to answer question on electrostatic force. Is that first, magnitude using F is equals to K Q1 Q2 over R square, which is the general equation here. And second is the direction from the sign of charge. Okay, so you have to find the magnitude using the equation, which is the Coulomb's law equation, and then you have to deduce the direction from the sign of the charges. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to redraw the diagram here. So what we have here is Q1, Q2 and also Q3. This is what we have, and our object here is Q2. So we are only going to focus on Q2. So since you have two charges surrounded or next to Q2, you have two charges which is Q1 and also Q3 next to Q2. Okay, so we are first going to start to deduce the direction first. Why I'm starting with direction is because to find the magnitude of total force when you have more than two charges, you have to consider the direction to find the total force. Okay, saya ulang, I repeat myself. We are going to start, kita akan mula dengan menentukan arah forces that the Q2 is going to experience. Kenapa? Kita ada lebih daripada dua charge dekat sini. What is going to happen adalah arah yang kita dapat membantu untuk mengira total force kita. Okay, so this is how it's going to be done. So you have Q1 on the right hand side and Q3 on the left hand side of our subject. Okay, so now focus only on one and neglect the other charge. Contoh, kita tengok charge satu sahaja dulu. Focus on charge 1. So kita abaikan charge 3 ini. Okay, so based on this, you have Q1 and Q2 placed next to each other along the same x-axis and they are same charge. So apa yang akan jadi adalah dua-dua charge ini, sebab mereka mempunyai sifat yang sama, they are going to repel each other. So when they repel each other, they are going to move away from each other. So Q2 ini akan bergerak menjauhi Q1. So it is going to move to the right. Okay, it is going to move to the right due to the repulsion experience here. Okay, due to the repulsion experience. So kita akan ada F1 on 2 dekat sini. F1 on 2. Alright, saya guna subscript 1, 2 ini because I have more than two charges here untuk distinguish. Tapi yang penting objek kita adalah dua masih. Force acting due to 1 on 2. Force acting due to 1 on 2. Okay, and then next kita akan fokus pada Q3 and neglect the Q1. Kita abaikan Q1, kita tengok Q3 dan Q2. Q3 and Q2, one is positive, another one is negative, and we know they are going to attract each other and they are going to move towards each other. Mereka akan bergerak menghampiri satu sama lain. So with that, for Q2 to be attracted towards Q3, dia harus bergerak ke kanan juga. sebab dia kena bergerak menghampiri Q2. Q3. So you're going to experience another force to the right as well due to Q3 on Q2. Force exerted due to charge 3 on charge 2. Okay. So now kita dah tentukan arah. So as you can see here, on one charge, iaitu objek kita, pada objek kita ada dua force acting. Okay, you have to sum them baru boleh dapat total force. Okay, so kita nak cari summation force acting on objek kedua ini. Okay, summation force acting on the charge 2. So untuk itu apa kita kena buat adalah you have to sum all the charges. To sum all the charges, kita letak F12 campur dengan F32. Alright. Okay, next, what are we going to do is, we are going to find what is the value of F12 dulu. F12, K, Q1, Q2 over R square. So, what are you going to do is next, you're going to substitute all the values here. Q1 adalah, nilai Q1 diberi sebanyak 2 coulomb, and Q2 is 4 coulomb. Divided by the distance between them is 3 centimeter, which is 0.03 meter square. And then you press your calculator, get your value here. And then you do the same for F3 on 2. K, Q3, Q2, R square. 9 darab 10 kuasa 9. Your Q3 is 6 coulomb. Negatif itu kita abaikan sebab dia adalah sifat. You have already used that characteristic to deduce the direction. And then, 4. Q2 bernilai 4. The distance between them is 5. Okay, so you press your calculator, you will get a value. So once you have gotten the value, let's say saya bagi value ni term dulu Let's say this is A and this is B, whatever the value is. And this A, direction dia ke mana? Ke kanan, to the right. And then ini pun to the right. How do you know it to the right? You deduce from yang kamu lukis. F12 direction dia ke mana? Ke kanan. And then F32 direction dia ke mana? Ke kanan juga. So you get to the right. So now you are going to sum them. So summation forces on 2. Okay, bila kita nak sum, kita kena consider the direction. Dalam summation kena consider the direction, di mana to the right kita assume sebagai positive, to the left kita assume sebagai negative. So positive F12 plus dengan positive F32. Okay, positive ini because this positive is because they are directed to the right. Okay, and then sekarang awak boleh masukkan positive A campur dengan positive B, whatever the value that you got lah. Masukkan, dapatkan akhir, jawapan akhir. Jawapan akhir ini, kamu tengok, kalau you still get a positive, maksudnya dia to the right. Kena ada direction. Dalam jawapan akhir ni, kamu akan dapat nilai. And then kalau jawapan kamu positive, it indicates that it is moving to the right. Secara overall, dia akan bergerak ke kanan. Okay, cuma let's say if I were to change this to negative charge. Katakan kita tukar sifat ni jadi negatif juga. What is going to happen is F12 saya sekarang, F12 saya, positive and negative charge is going to attract each other. Therefore, FQ2 will move towards Q1. So I'm going to have to the left. So apa yang akan jadi dari segi magnitude dia masih sama, tak ubah. The magnitude does not change here. For F12, the magnitude is still the same. It's just that the direction changes because it is now negative to the left. Ini contoh. Kalau saya tukar sifat to the left. So when you are going to find the summation F, you have to consider the sign. Sign ini adalah direction mereka. You have to consider the direction. Direction ini comes from whatever you deduce from the diagram atas tadi. So sekarang sebab kita dah ubah soalan, ini menjadi negatif. Okay, negatif whatever plus with positive whatever. So, kamu akan dapat jawapan kamu. Whatever you should get. Itulah. Alright, so begini. So, katakanlah, let's say when you press calculator, your final answer, contoh awak dapat negatif 5 darab 10 kuasa 6 Newton. Contoh, okay, contoh, for example. Okay, what does this means adalah, dia memberitahu negatif ini adalah direction dia. Sebab when you consider the positive negative sign here, you consider them due to the direction you have obtained based on whatever you have deduced dekat atas sini. Okay, so oleh sebab itu, kalau kita dapat final answer kita ada negatif, apa yang akan jadi adalah 5 darab 10 kuasa 6. This is the magnitude of the force, to the left. Maksudnya, dia akan bergerak ke kiri. Itu adalah direction of the force. The total force now is to the left. Kalau kita tekan calculator memang kita dapat positif, maka jawapan dia akan jadi, let's say, 5 exponent 6, that is the magnitude, and the direction become to the right. Are we all good? Okay, so you have to remember, setiap kali nak cari soal, nak cari force, kalau dia kata total electric force, ataupun bila dia tak mention total electric force, tapi dia minta forces acting on Q3 contoh. And next to Q3, you have 2 charges. Maksudnya dalam kes kita ada lebih daripada 2 charge. So when you have more than 2 charges, you are going to experience more than 2 forces. Kita akan ada lebih banyak forces dekat sini. Sebab Q3 ni akan interact dengan Q2 dan dia akan interact juga dengan Q1. So dia akan produce satu force due to Q2 dan dia akan produce another force due to Q1. So you have to sum both the forces. Untuk sum forces, start dengan deducing the direction dulu. Tentukan direction mereka dulu. Baru kita kira dan cari nilai total force itu.